Hello and welcome to This Week in Campbell Football with head coach Mike Minter, powered by our friends at Fred Anderson Toyota. I'm Chris Haymeyer, joined as always by the head coach of Campbell Football, Mike Minter, and we are happy to be back for year number 2, getting ready for game number 1. We'll talk about the Charlotte game coming up this Thursday night here at Barker Lane Stadium at 7 o'clock. But first, Coach, everybody has been talking about around this program how training camp was different this year. Coaches, players, all talking about how tough it was. First of all, tell us how tough it was, what you did, and why you did it this year a little differently.
Well, you know what, it's really in the phase of where we at as a football team, and I felt like one of the things that I wanted to accomplish was us to be a very, very tough physical football team coming out. Well, the only way you do that is by hitting. You make it tough on the bodies, and then also conditioning. And so those are the two things that we wanted to get out of our guys, and then also the coaches, I guess, of really understanding what it's going to take to turn the program around and start winning some football games. And so that was the approach that we took. The other thing is that we wanted our guys to become a team, become one. And the only time that you can become one with somebody else is that you go through a difficult time with them. And so that was the other reason why we wanted to make training camp so hard, that these guys feel like that they went through war together and got better because of that.
Coach, this, of course, is year number 2 in your steps of rebuilding this program. You personally, how is head coach Mike Minter different at this time of the season, year number 2, as compared to year number 1?
Well, I'm more comfortable. You know, I know what to expect. It's you know, I tell people all the time is that second putt always goes in, and so that's what I feel. I understand my guys. I understand what type of league we play in. I understand what we have to do to get to the level that we want to get to and the expectations that we have as a coaching staff. And then the other thing is I'm more comfortable with my coaches because I've never worked with them. They've never worked with me. A lot of them never worked with one another. And so to try to build that cohesiveness in the coaching staff was very, very important. And I feel good about that. So really I feel like a veteran that went to his rookie year and everything was new. And now I know travel, how it's going to work. I know how my guys are going to respond to it. I know how they're going to respond to being at home, being away, the different type of things that they need. And so all those things, you know, I get. And so now I'm sure I'm going to learn new things this year, but it won't be the same things that I learned last year. So I feel more comfortable as a coach.
Coach, I know something that's got to make you feel really comfortable is you return pretty much every starter on both sides of the ball. Give us a little, maybe scouting report on number 1, some of the new faces we'll see and how things are different. We'll start with your defense.
Well, defensively, you know, we had to get better. We was very bad on defense last year, and in the bottom part of FCS and as a total defense, and so we had to get better. And I felt like we had to get better up front. And with that, you basically have 3 new guys that's kind of there. I know Uganda came in the middle of last year, but now you're going to get a full 12 games with him and at defensive end at 6'5", you know, 260, put on more weight, got faster. And then you have DeJuan Hanshaw who played inside at 265. I thought he was too small, so we moved him outside at defensive end, where that's what you want your defensive ends to look like at 265, 270 running off the edge. And so you got those 2 guys that's kind of manning up the edge. And then inside, of course, you got Lucas Smith, who's voted captain, a lot of respect, veteran guy, understands defense, very smart. But he's 300 pounds now, and so now you got Force in there, and then we got Millhouse from App State who transferred in. Another guy that I believe can really change the game at the tackle 3 technique that we play him at. very fast. I mean, he probably run a 4.6 at 300 pounds. I mean, you look at those type of things, we are better up front, and that's what you have. And then we got depth. So guys who were really starting last year, we moved them down, and now they backing up. You know, you look at a guy like Ike. I mean, he's a guy now that's backing up, but he's a guy that has started for 3 or 4 years. Now he's backing up like that. And that's the testament of what we have on defensive line right now. And then linebackers, we got 6 guys that can start. I mean, we basically call all 6 of them starters. So we 2 deep at every linebacker position, which is really, really good. I think Jake Barr is going to be a guy that is going to make a lot of plays for us. Very smart, very instinctive. Played quarterback in high school. We changed him from safety to linebacker last year in the middle of the season, changed our defense. I mean, he really was the quarterback of the defense, just making plays, and so I think that's going to be good. You know, and so you got Matt Ferris, and you got Andrew Yost, and so you know, Yost is going to start. I mean, now you got really a preseason All-American backing up another linebacker that beat him out in training camp. Again, depth, and that's what you want as a football coach. And then at the corner position, man, we got a lot of guys there. We probably got more corners that can play Division I football than probably anybody in this country. We got 7 guys, 8 guys that we feel like can start anywhere. And so we really feel good about that. We've got 2 transfer guys now getting to play with Isaiah Howard and Tyler Ryan, and you know, Tyler Ryan coming from Liberty, Isaiah Howard coming from Georgia State. Guys have played in some big-time games, and now we got them on our team. And you know, I think Brandon Mobley, again, he was our #1 guy last year. Now he's just in the mix of 6. I think that's good. Chris Beatty, my nephew, he's growing and is a sophomore now, and he's one of our top 4 corners. And so I'm pretty excited about them. And then our safety position, you know, we got young guys there. So we got 2 older guys in Allen Hart and you know, Nichols. So we got 2 older guys, and then we got 2 younger guys that'll be backing him up. And so we got some good depth there. And so we'll play a lot of guys in the game on defense, and hopefully we can definitely play better than we did a year ago. Stopping the run is the #1 thing. Forcing turnovers is the other thing. And so that's where we had at defense.
When you go to the offensive side of the ball, it's about a quarterback battle. Again this year, you had a good battle in camp. David Solomon, the youngster coming up, a redshirt freshman. And Dakota Wolf was named your starter, someone that those familiar with Campbell football know was a starter a couple of years ago. It's got to be nice to have experience back there, especially with this challenging schedule to start with.
Listen, when you talk about quarterback, you want a guy that has experience, a guy that understands how not to lose a football game at that position. And Dakota is a guy that played a lot, started before I got here, played a lot early on last year before Hudson just kind of took it on. And I feel like he can do the same exact thing that Brian Hudson did last year. I think he's that type of quarterback. And so to have a really redshirt senior lead your football team is really good. And so we're excited about that. Now, with that, we're going to play David Salmon in spots. And so he's going to come in and continue to just try to get him more reps, just taking it slower with him. And we told him next year, hopefully you get the keys and you make it work. And but we definitely behind Dakota 110%. I think the team is, because they voted him captain too. And so that's a really good sign that you head in the right direction, you picked the right guy. At running back, man, we got 3 horses. I mean, we got 3 guys that can tote the rock, and it's going to be up to Coach Mariani to figure out how to get those 3 guys to football enough touches. But we really feel good about our running back situation. You know, got a transfer from Western Michigan, and I think that's just really big and in that. And so we're excited about that. The biggest thing that we try to do is get faster on offense, and I think we've done that with some young guys that can come in and help. and doing that. Offensive line, everybody knows about them. We was top 15 in the country running the football because of them, and they all back. And so I think that's the biggest piece of our offense that I'm excited about. That offensive line is getting a year better, and we got some depth at that offensive line. So we'll probably play about 8 guys in a football game. So you talk about 2 All-Americans, and we able to still play 8 guys and rotate them in and out. At the end of the day, we want to try to keep the game close and in the fourth quarter win it.
You guys challenged greatly to begin the year. It starts right here Thursday night, 7 o'clock under the lights against Charlotte. Before we get to Charlotte, talk about the energy that I know you can't wait to feel opening up the season here at home under the lights.
Anytime you can open up a game Thursday night under the lights, it's exciting. Really, one of the first games to be played in 2014 of college football, and so I think guys are real excited about that. The fans is going to be excited. I think it's a sellout, and everybody's going to be there, and we might give Charlotte about 5 tickets. So hopefully we got a lot of orange and black throughout the whole stadium, and really we look forward to a big crowd, an exciting crowd, the energy that's going to be there. So what I have to do is keep my guys, level. Don't get caught up into the emotions of what's going to happen to you when you run out of that tunnel Thursday night. And so I think that's the #1 thing, is that we just got to stay focused on the task at hand, and that's just really winning every play that you on the football field.
I know the biggest thing when you talk about Charlotte, Coach, they've only been around as a football program, rebirth for 2 years, but they've got 86 more football scholarships than you as they transition into FBS. This is a big-time team and going to be quite a challenge to start with.
You talk about a team that didn't play football but the first game, and they beat us pretty bad last year. So that shows you the disparity, and they only had 63 scholarships at that time. So now you got 85, 86 scholarships, and so it's going to be a challenge, right? So it's no different when we played Old Dominion last year. Our thing is that really we just trying to compete. We're trying to win each down, individual battles. We can't get concerned about the scoreboard and getting down on ourselves. We just got to go out there and try to execute what we got planned, and then that's really all we can do as a football team. And don't be concerned about what the outcome is. Just know that when you come off the football field, they respect you because you play hard, you play the game right. And it was a good, solid football contest that they was in. And so that's really what we're looking for from our football team. We haven't even talked about Charlotte or talked about who it is we playing or anything. It's just really focusing on us. Can we just go in and not have dumb penalties? Can we just go in and, for 60 plays, 70 plays, I'm going to outcompete you for those 60 or 70 plays. That's really been our mindset from day one.
We can't wait to see this year's edition, 2014, of the Camels. We can't wait to see you out there Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Go to gocamels.com for ticket information. For the head coach of Campbell Football, Mike Minter, I'm Chris Haymeyer saying so long, and we'll see you next week on This Week in Campbell Football.